Hello everyone, my name is Vitalik and today I'm thrilled to announce the release of Django Ninja version 1.0. So this is a major milestone for all contributors, and I'm sure for many of you who use Ninja in your projects as well. So the new release includes, so first of all, the support for Pydantic 2, which is have better performance, have better flexibility. We also add a better async support, and also introduce a new and easier to use parameter syntax and some other improvements here and there. So let's dive in and explore what Django Ninja 1 has to offer. So let's start with Pydantic 2. It comes with a lot of new nice changes, and this is actually the reason why Django Ninja became V1 at this point. And we tried to make it as much as possible backward compatible, and we also would like to give more flexibility in defining these schemes. So our goal is that you just have to upgrade Ninja and Pydantic to latest version and all should work just fine, while under the hood you will get all the extra performance and flexibility that comes with Pydantic 2. Alright, let's start with Pydantic. So from the user perspective, basically there is not much changed. All you have to do is, as usual, extend from our built-in schema class, and you as well will have your .dict method, .json. So here we try to make it as much as possible compatible with the Pydantic v1, so that you don't have to rewrite all your code base to achieve this change from Pydantic 1 to Pydantic 2. While on the other hand, there is one nice feature that Pydantic gives you, and it's pretty easy to add that to your existing code base. So it's called context, and now whenever you define your resolve method or validator, Django Ninja automatically puts a request object to your context. So here in this example we resolve the path of your request. So all we have to do is get the request from context and use it and set some field or some object data. This works both for incoming request, like our parameter, and as well it works for the serializing the data. So in this case, we got our request, we use it for some populating some value, and as well here we can just output everything that we got in a context. Just the only difference between input and output: in output the context will have an extra value called response code. So in that way you can change some logic based if it's a 200 response or some other response, so you will have this flexibility when you render your data. Alright, next, so in older versions, to configure your Pydantic, you had to use config class, but on a Pydantic 2 they deprecated this syntax, and now you have to use the model config attribute, which will define all the logic for the Pydantic model. But in our case, when we use model schema, we also define here the model and the model fields that should define the fields that are on this schema. So this approach is still supported, but it will give you the deprecation warning. So what we actually do is we define our own class. We call it meta, like all the other configuration classes, on forms, on models. So we do here the same, for example on model forms. So we define meta, we define model, and we define fields. the same syntax as we do in Django forms, and which will be pretty much familiar to all Django developers. Next is defining the parameters or marking the data where it should come from. So before to mark some structure that comes, for example, from headers or form or query or like any other request attributes, we had to use approach like this. So we define our argument, we define its type, and then we initiate it with this kind of weird syntax. Okay, that this should come from header, and we use these 3 dots to define it. Okay, this is a required parameter. So this thing we're always like giving some weird questions from user, like, okay, what are those 3 dots and what should I do with it? So technically these are just, you know, standard Python keyword, or if you can say so. You can always do like something equals to 3 dots, and technically it's called ellipsis. So but this gave like me a lot of headaches when people not understand like what should I put here, or why should it here. So in Ninja version 2 we introduced the new syntax. Basically you do the same, you import your marker from Ninja, and then you do like this generic marking field. Yeah, so it's like header comes from header, and the resulting type will be of this class, and that works exactly the same. You get as well your code completion. So let's you see, like we got our h1 h2 auto completions, and it also aware of the type of this auto completion. So you have all your usual benefits from Pydantic and from editors, and I believe this syntax gives you way easier understanding of the parameters, and no weird equal signs or stuff like that. And we also support the annotated syntax, which comes from I believe Python 3.8. So we can as well define your argument as annotated with the class and where it should come from. So both those 3 syntaxes are supported. You should be able to migrate very easy, and the recommended way in Django Ninja is to use this syntax to mark your input parameters. Right, next is the authentication. So before Ninja did not support authenticators that had the async syntax. So now it does, and yeah, like all you have to do is just add the word async to your authenticate method and do some await inside, and yeah, that's basically it. No tricks or nothing special. It works out of the box and works pretty well. Next topic is CSRF. So this is how it worked before. So if you use the Django Auth, built-in Django Auth authenticator, you are forced to add the CSRF through to your Ninja API, because Django Auth uses the cookie-based authentication, and yeah, you have to use the CSRF protection with your cookie-based authentications. But that gave like a pretty weird results when you had to mix a couple of authenticator methods in your code. So for example, here we use Django Auth, and we use a header-based authentication, right? And in this case, it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, like Django Auth requires CSRF, but header auth do not require CSRF. And yeah, this was like a really big bummer for people who wanted to use multiple authentication methods. And luckily now it's solved. So all you have to do is simply not pass the CSRF attribute to Ninja, and cookie-based authentication will resolve CSRF protection inside the authenticator, and the other non-cookie based authenticators will not use it. And yeah, basically it becomes way simpler. All you have to do, you just pass the auth methods and don't worry about the CSRF, as it will be automatically applied to all cookie based authentications. Alright, now the documentation. So by default, Django Ninja renders docs with Swagger, and in settings you can actually overrule it to also use redoc. But yeah, we had like a lot of requests to add one or another doc engine, and yeah, that's pretty much makes it impossible to add all the functionality into standard library. So instead we made it a kind of pluggable solution. So all you have to do is actually import one or another doc engine. So we can use, for example, docs equals Swagger, and it will render the Swagger. If we use the redoc, yeah, the docs will be rendered with redoc. And as well, yeah, that also allows to pass like special parameters to the documentation engine. Like here, for example, we pass the Swagger persist authorization configuration, and it will it will save all the auth tokens for you. But also this allows you to create your own doc engine. So alright, so all you have to do is from ninja.docs import docs base, and then create your documentation engine by just extending the docs and defining the render page method. Yeah, basically now you can render any HTML page with any other documentation engine that will work for you, or create your own plugin that can be extended later with Django Ninja. Alright, and now routers. So whenever you had like a pretty big application, you came up to a picture like this. Yeah, so you had like multiple applications, each of them define their own API router, and then you had to import it in this weird way and then pass it to the add router function. So in new version this is simplified, so you can, instead of adding the actual router object to add router function, so you can just get rid of this and use the string paths to your routers, and yeah, that way it's like way easier and shorter way to define like a really big and complex applications. Alright, next, decorators. So Django actually comes with a lot of built-in nice decorators that can be applied to your view functions. But the problem is that, for example, here, yeah, like we would want to use the cache page on this view. But yeah, that's not gonna work, because yeah, like in our API just returns some object or string or yeah, like anything, but not the HTTP response that this cache page expects. So in order to reuse the decorators that use the Django HTTP response object, we now introduce the decorate view special function. So all you have to do now is just add this decorate view decorator that will actually apply this function on a higher level than the output of this response. So that way you can just pass any amount of functions or decorators through this view, and then reuse a lot of them that are included in Django or some other Django libraries that are applied on top of some view functions. Yeah, if you don't like actually the kind of maybe some kind of weirdness of this, yeah, there is also a way to create your own router that will use this decorator function. So here example, I'm creating the router that have the cache argument. Yeah, so all you have to do, you just need to override this decorate function and apply your decorate view on top of that function. And now yeah, like your router will have your cache argument that you can define like for how many seconds the response of this view should be cached. Alright, these are all big updates, and yeah, like most of all, I would like to thank all the contributors. And if you watched this far, yeah, just spend another second and go to GitHub and give Django Ninja a star. This will help bring more users and more contributors. Thank you and have a nice day.